Precious.
I'm Ayoka.
And I'm Brittany.
And this is the Buzz of the Week. Alright, so this is episode 1, guys, and we'll be covering different trending topics or news, anything that happened for the week. We'll be posting a video like this each and every Saturday. So you guys will hear our opinions on the trending topics or news or any highlight that happened anywhere across the world.
Alright guys, so disclaimer, this will be our personal opinion and we might even agree on each topic.
Yeah.
You mightn't agree, but this is where you come in and comment, alright? Because I want to hear from you.
Comment down below, we won't feel no way. This is a more relaxed vibe. Candace Owens is a controversial figure. She's black. And she is known for being extremely controversial and political. She has a large fan base.
She does.
She has 2.5 million likes on Facebook, and she tends to have the support of a white audience.
Yeah.
To just cut right to the chase, Candace is oftentimes against anything that is pro-black or anything that is in support of black people. And she does it in a very articulate way, but she definitely opposes most things that will affect black people. So I was contemplating long and hard if we should make this video, because responding to people who, if you're a black girl, black lady, have a black family, and you choose to be selective on not supporting people who look like you, then that's a red flag and I probably shouldn't give you any attention. But at the same time, I feel like as black people, and this is something I'm gonna start doing going forward, is that we have an obligation to speak up when it's necessary and speak out against anything that's wrong, whether we have a big platform or a small platform. In the description below the video, if you guys want to see that video in its entirety, because we don't want to be biased, you guys can watch the whole video and get a good idea of what she was saying in its entirety for 18 minutes. But we'll just point out the points that we were triggered by.
Anyways, so
early out in the video, as soon as the video starts, she was saying that she does not support George Floyd.
I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America.
Yeah, so she was saying that she does not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America.
Yeah, she feels like it's detrimental to our black community. All right, so let us first define what a martyr is, okay? A martyr is someone who was killed, right? Murdered for their political views or their religious beliefs. And in this case, he was killed because he's a black person, because of his skin color.
Of his skin, yeah.
Right? So we don't really choose martyrs. Basically what she's saying is that our feelings towards how he was treated is dangerous.
Anybody who's a human being who sat through that 8-minute video and watched this policeman kill this man, he was
handcuffed.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't resisting.
No.
It wasn't dangerous. Nothing like that. And the police sat on him, put his knee on his neck for 8 whole minutes. Anybody that watched it, black, white, will feel some type of feeling and recognize what had happened was nothing good. Like, it's not detrimental, it's not dangerous. What happened to him was dangerous.
Right? They happen upon us from those that kill them.
Right.
Like the police is the one that chose to kill George Floyd.
We didn't select George Floyd and be like, we're gonna choose you to be.
Let the police kill this one and let us represent him.
In the media and everything. Actually, the police chose him. Unfortunately, rest in peace, George Floyd. And we are responding accordingly.
So there is a huge difference between a martyr and a hero. Okay, a hero is someone that has done good. Or bring positive light to issues. Yeah,
for her saying that the media depiction of him is something that she won't accept, I mean, sis, you're kind of off target here, because it's not the media, it's not us. We didn't choose him, the media didn't choose him. What had happened is that the police chose to kill him because of the color of his skin, and we are responding to it. The media didn't have no influence on how I felt. Once I seen that video, I never have to hear anybody else's opinion. The media didn't have to tell me one thing about him. I felt all of us that watched the video.
You can't help. It
Yeah.
took me a couple days to watch that video. Like, I had to pause a couple times.
Right. So the media, I mean, she's trying to blame the media, trying to portray him in her video. She was trying to say that the media was depicting him as a hero.
Like, we as a Black community are uplifting him as a hero.
I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it is something that I refuse to stand by.
Come on, guys. Who is a hero? A hero is someone who we idolize for their courage and their great achievements, right? This is not something that we as the Black community have been portraying about George Floyd. What are his achievements or noble qualities? Like, we didn't say that he was
a hero. Yeah, there's no appointed time that we said that George Floyd was our hero, but her perception of we marching and rioting for justice is depicting that, is saying that we choose him as our hero. And she actually go ahead and she was saying that Black people is the only race.
The only race.
Caters to the bottom feeders or the bottom denominator of our society.
We are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good.
So I'm thinking, so clearly there is some misunderstanding in what is taking place, or she's acting like she don't understand what is taking place here, because there was no time that we would assume that George Floyd was in line to become a hero for our society, or we didn't know who this man was.
We didn't know him at all. If the police didn't kill him, we wouldn't know who George Floyd is.
Right. So first thing sis got wrong was that she needs to actually figure out or identify the difference between a hero and a martyr. So George Floyd is on t-shirts and we're rioting for him because this is a representation of something that happens to us over and over and over again. And he is just the most recent. He is the person of today. Mind you, this is something that we've seen in the media over and over and over again. This is traumatic to us as Black people to watch people kill unharmed Black men and women unjustly, and now is a breaking point where we are responding. We're using social media to speak out. These people that died, we're honoring their lives, but they're not necessarily our heroes. We're not concerned about what they did in their past and what their lifestyle was, because clearly, as
that
we can
wasn't
tell,
the issue at hand at all.
And honestly, I was very offended when she said that it was planted in her head by whomever that Black people is the only race that caters to the common denominator. I was really offended because she speaks as a racist towards Black people and she's Black, because that's a harsh generalization.
If she was a white person saying these things, the world would be offended.
Right.
Like the whole Black community.
So there's another clip that, another part of her long ranting that she said, where she did say that she believes that George Floyd deserved justice.
And I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died.
For a very short part of her video. And then in the same breath and in the same sentence she said, but she will not accept this as the best that the Black community has to offer. And to me, this is a prime example of Black people having to be perfect even in injustice. Like, even when a policeman is killing him, when somebody's murdering him, as a Black person, he still has to be perfect in death. perfect history, or else you won't get the justice that you deserve. The last time I checked, everybody deserved the same treatment regardless as a human being. And it speaks volumes to the fact that we as Black people have to always, in most situations, we always have to be the best. We have to be on our A game. So even if somebody's gonna murder you, make sure so you live a perfect life, or else your murder is not gonna be considered.
Express yourself clearly. In perfect grammar.
Everything has to be perfect about you when you're Black. It's very evident that she is focusing on the victim and not
his past
and not the person who the villain or here,
the action.
Yeah, the action that was done in the video. Right. So the police should never spend no time to go research and dig up about.
Obviously, the police is a monster and he should be dealt with, and he was arrested.
Yeah, she's like, he was arrested.
But when was he arrested?
Something I want to point out before we responded to this video, he was not arrested. Just like multiple different cases, when police choose to kill Black unharmed people, they go off scotch-free. They still have their jobs. They get paid leave or something of that sort after they kill.
They can work in another state.
Yeah, that's usually the case. So our response to this behavior is actually to get some justice, because we've seen this before. So she just brushed off the police situation and focus on digging up George Floyd, who already lost his life. Like, you need to go check up the police, check up his history, check up the other multiple Black people that he may have killed that was not recorded, check up the type of person he was to have such a heartless, to sit on somebody, to be on somebody's neck, to kneel on somebody's neck for that long with a grinning face of evil in your eyes and never feel no emotions. You need to do some research on a person like that, not the person who was killed.
Another part of her video that really got me irate was when she said that it's basically a misrepresentation, like fake news, basically.
Police brutality, racially motivated police brutality is a myth, okay?
Like, sis, do we have to remind you?
Do you watch
the news?
Are you on social media?
Yeah, because for you to say this is a myth, let's remember all the lives that were taken in the recent past. So I'm gonna list just a few other names that will come to mind. So most recently we have George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Philando Castile, we have Eric Garner, we have Tamir Rice, we have Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, and we have Botham John. So we have a long list, and the list goes on and on.
This is just what we were made aware of. A lot of the time it's by accident that we even hear this, because a video go viral,
or it was recorded
on social media or something,
and it goes viral.
What about all the others that we don't know about?
This has been happening for centuries, and now thanks to social media, some of these incidents have video recording evidence. And mind you, some of these people who have died that we know about, these police officers are still working. A lot of these officers have not been convicted of murder, even though they have blatantly killed somebody, and we are aware. So the ones that we are not aware of is obviously still living their lives or continue doing what they do best. And there's all these cases that is very public, and these police officers are still living free. Most of them have not been charged or convicted, and most of them are still working as police officers today, though these stories and cases is very public and went viral in social media. So how is this a myth? Like, we've seen the evidence, we've watched it. Like, it can't be a myth at this point. Usually they could sell us the narrative that this is a myth and this is not real because it was only spoken truth.
Is she smart? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody with common sense can see what's actually going on.
Yeah, so it's not a myth. And also you need to be aware of the fact that the system that was created to break Black people, which even our white friends can tell us that America was based off a system that was not in preference of Black people. So to use the system as a resource,
when it was being written,
Right. It was to
still,
exclude.
yeah.
It excluded and still treated black people in such a way, and
a lot of those laws still exist
today.
It's the system. It
Right.
it still exists. We train officers to think certain way
and
like,
get away with these things without getting the appropriate repercussions, and they continue to do it. So if you guys want to see the real factual information, you guys can go on Washington Post, which is a reliable source, to see the real data on how often the frequency between how black unarmed men are killed in comparison with the white counterparts. I think she's getting a nice paycheck to speak out against black people. And it's a technique that white racists, because I won't generalize and say all white people are bad. I'm sure it's evident that there's a lot of white people who are on our side and see where we're coming from and is in support of us. But the white racist people usually use a technique where and this is coming from slavery days, where you get a black person to fight with a black person, and that will just create the confusion that we
lose sight of the goal.
And we lose sight of who is the enemy, because the person who is fighting us look identically to us. So we fight each other, and this is a technique that works very well
to this day. A lot of the time in media news, that's what they do.
Right. So if they can find a black girl to speak out negatively about black people, it's a perfect situation for them. You don't have to get white people involved to fight with black people. You just get black people to fight against each other, and that is the way how they destruct us. And this is the reason why we're very competitive, and you know, you see this reflected in so much different aspects of our lives, because this is actually something that it's a technique that they use. Don't do it, sis. Don't do it. And moreover, once they're done with you, they're gonna kick you to the curb. Once they just finished
to serve your purpose
for
this time period,
then you're out of the race. You're just another black girl, but they're using you to damage us, and it's clearly not working, because there is a lot more intelligent people who are actually woke, who are actually smart, street smart, and can see beyond this. And some of us won't sell our soul for monetary gains, because I have a strong feeling that she is smart enough and she understands what she's doing.
She's clearly smart enough. She can articulate herself well and put together her thoughts well, her opinions. She has no problem voicing them. So the last point that really outraged me was when she said that we should try to limit our encounters with the police force.
You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have with them.
Maybe that will, I guess, stop us from getting killed. Which is crazy, because most of the times it's the cops that actually seek us out.
Right. The cops, most of the times, the cops actually tend to stop black people way more than they would with a white person. Cops usually tend to find a black person suspicious way more than they would with a white person. Cops tend to think that we match the identity of somebody way more than they would with a white person, because all black people look the same. So
I mean, look at even that gentleman the other day. Look at him. He was in his home, nice, quiet, minding his own business,
eating ice cream, watching TV.
You know, and this cop at the time just come off her shift, and mistook his apartment for her apartment, and went in and killed him in his own home.
Right. And how
what do you say about that?
Yeah, how could he avoided that interaction when he was in the safety of his home? He thought he was in the safety of his home. So we cannot, unfortunately, Candice, we are not privileged enough to just avoid confrontations with the police. And if she was speaking in the sense that she's saying that we need to respond well to the police demands and anything they say, most times in those cases, because as you can see, George Floyd, in all the angles that we've seen, all the videos that we've seen, he was
very
cooperative. He was compliant. He was not resisting. He was not doing anything opposing what the police told him to do, and he still was killed. The issue here is not us.
It's not. Trust
The issue
me.
here is not us.
And you don't have to stand with us. No one not forcing you to.
It would be nice if you keep your mouth shut though. If you're not with us, and do not destroy a community and the work that we're putting in that is already at odds, and you being a black lady. So that's all we'll have to say on her today in this episode. This one was very hard, but I mean, the elephant in the room is the elephant in the room. The current climate, everything that's going on in the world.
It wouldn't feel right if we actually didn't express this.
Right. So this is the buzz of the week. This week, episode 1. So come back again next week, Saturday, and we'll be talking about our next hot topic that's happening in the world. Whatever topics that we think stands out to us and have a little buzz. So yeah, this is the buzz of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below and let us know what you think about Candace and her opinions on Black lives and how we should respond, and not supporting George Floyd. Her not supporting him speaks volumes. But hey, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but we're not gonna allow somebody to spread ignorance and not respond to it. And we should not allow it, whether it's a black person, a white person, it doesn't matter who. If the person is racist or is spreading irresponsible content and irresponsible information that can affect us, we have to speak out. We'll see you back again next week, same time, same place, here at
the bench. Come to the bench.
Yeah,
guys.
come to the bench. So see you guys. Have a good rest of the week. Until next week. Bye.